The 1978 Super Bowl had more drama than a Texas cookout in the middle of winter. Not only did Craig Morton and Roger Staubach face off against each other, former teammates and battlemates on the Dallas Cowboys, the Denver Broncos made it in an upset, getting past a very tough AFC that year, including Pittsburgh and Oakland. Now, Super Bowl 12 was between the NFC champion Dallas Cowboys and the American Football Conference champion Denver Broncos. Now, this season was only 14 games, and both teams ended 12-2. The Cowboys crushed the Broncos 27-10 to win their second Super Bowl. Of course, the first was 6 years before against the Dolphins. Played at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. This was the first Super Bowl in the Dome Stadium and the first time the game was played in primetime in the eastern U.S. The game pitted again Staubach versus Morton, led by Staubach and the Doomsday Defense. Dallas advanced to his fourth Super Bowl after posting a 12-2 record in regular season and home playoff victories over the Chicago Bears and longtime rivals, the Minnesota Vikings. The Broncos, led by Morton and the Orange Crust defense, made their first ever postseason appearance after a franchise best 12-2 record in the regular season. They again had big upset wins over the injury-riddled Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Cowboy defense dominated Super Bowl 12, forcing 8 turnovers, allowing only 8 pass completions by the Broncos for 61 yards. Morton didn't end the game. He brought in Norris Weiss, but it was a little bit, again, too little too late. Denver made it 20-10 entering the third quarter, but a halfback option pass from Newhouse to Golden Richard cemented it. The interceptions led to 10 first quarter points, and Dallas, I think, they missed 2 field goals. Now, Cowboys were favored by 6 going in, and he bet the spread. Denver's longest play of the game was 21 yards, which occurred on an opening drive. And of course, Dallas extended the lead to 20-3 in the third quarter after wide receiver Butch Johnson made a diving catch in the end zone for a 45-yard touchdown. Some people felt it was incomplete, but there was enough momentum to bring it across, and Butch kind of jumped up and, he dropped the ball, but it was a touchdown. And ineffective Morton was replaced by Norris Weiss late in the third quarter. He drove the Broncos downfield to score a touchdown to close the gap on a Rob Little 1-yard touchdown run. However, the Cowboys put the game out of reach in the fourth quarter with the 29-yard pass from Newhouse to Golden Richards on the option. Now, this is the first and only time 2 players won Super Bowl MVP honors. Defensive tackle Randy White and defensive end Harvey Martin. Hollywood Henderson was also got votes. It was also the first time the defensive lineman was named Super Bowl MVP. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Red Grange did the coin toss. 80 million people watched the game, one of the biggest ratings up to that time for a Super Bowl on CBS. The great team of Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire. Now, just to remind people, ladies and gentlemen, it only costs $162,000 for a half a minute ad. Now, getting to the main deal of the game, the main storyline again entering was Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach versus Broncos quarterback Craig Morton. Morton began his career playing for Dallas in '65, and Staubach joined the Cowboys in '69 after 4 years' service in the U.S. Navy after his Heisman Trophy win, and soon both quarterbacks competed for the starting job. But Tom Landry almost gave them alternate plays. During the '70 season, both Morton and Staubach started for about half the regular season games. Morton was ultimately selected to lead the team to the playoffs, and eventually did their Super Bowl V loss to the Colts. But it was interception that cost Dallas the late play and the 16-13 victory. The next year, Landry went with Staubach and won the starting job, and eventually led Dallas to defeat the Miami Dolphins in Super Bowl VI, 24-3. He was also named Super Bowl MVP during that contest. In '72, Morton started most of the Cowboys games as Staubach was out with a separated shoulder. However, in the divisional playoffs against San Fran, Staubach relieved Morton and rallied the team to victory, which assured Staubach a starting job going forward. Morton was eventually relegated to backup status until he left the team in '74 to join the Giants. Now, Morton was backed by a good offense, but the big thing about Denver was what you call the Orange Crush defense. Now, the Orange Cross was a unit known for their 3-4 formation, anchored by 4 superb linebackers, including the great Randy Gradishire, Tom Jackson, and Lyle Alzado was there at the time before he joined the Raiders, while the secondary was led by DBs Bill Thompson and Lewis Wright. The Broncos defense had given up just 148 points during that season, have averaged of just 10.6, and the third fewest in the NFL. Now the Doomsday Defense again, I don't think and you saw this, you just ripped them apart. You had again Harvey Martin, Jethro Pugh, Ed Too Tall Jones, and Randy White, Thomas Hollywood Henderson, Dede Lewis, and Bob Runig, and of course the cornerbacks Mel Renfro and safety Cliff Harris and Pro Bowl safety Charlie Waters. Now the game itself, like I said, very, very strong, especially CBS NFL Today with their team of Bress Musburger, Irv Cross, and Phyllis George really helped it working. Now, also contributing in the announcing was Hank Stram, Jimmy the Greek Snyder, Sonny Jurgensen. In CBS Radio, Gary Bender, Paul Hornig, Nick Boyncott, and Jack Whitaker. This is probably the best CBS package they had. Now, it was a nice addition to see Red Grange, the Hall of Fame running back, in a coin toss ceremony. Prior to 76, the official coin toss was held 30 minutes prior to kickoff, as reenacted 3 minutes prior to kickoff to inform the television audience and spectators at the stadium of the outcome. Now, at halftime was from Tyler Junior College. So, ladies and gentlemen, the game itself is sort of a connector. A lot of people felt the Steelers and Dallas would have a rematch in this tournament, and might be a dream match for a lot of people was Dallas against the Raiders. But as the game went on, like I said, it was all Dallas. Now, scoring information, of course. The first quarter, Tony Dorsett, a 3-yard touchdown run with Ephraim Herrera getting extra point. Then a field goal by Herrera at 1:31. Then 13-0 on a Herrera field goal at 11:16 of the second. And, of course, in the third quarter, Jim Turner, who also played with the Jets in the 69 miracle victory by Namath, hit a field goal. Now, Bitch Johnson made it 20-3, 6:59 of the third, 5:39 the third. Little made it 20-10, but from then on it was all Dallas. So Dallas had 17 first downs to Denver's 11. First down rushings were even 8-8, but the passing really worked for Dallas. 8 on first downs passing, while Denver only had 1. Now, net yards rushing, Dallas had 143, but they gave up 121, ironically. 38 rushing attempts for Dallas. Passing 19 for 28, your typical Staubach numbers. But Staubach was sacked 5 times in a contest, so it pushed down his passing yards to 182. Now, only 481 net yards in the contests, and it was time possession was all Dallas. 38-38. There's no way Denver offense could be going. So just as a recap, and Danny White subbed for Staubach, was injured in the contest, so technically they had 3 quarterbacks. White went 1 for 2. Norris Weiss, we did a podcast on him recently, went 4 for 10, but only 22 yards. But he did rush for 26. And former Cowboy Jim Jensen had 1 carry for 16 yards. Rob Little 10 for 35. Dorsett and Newhouse combined for 121 yards. Pearson 3 for 11. Laidlaw had one attempt, while Bitch Johnson had 1 reverse. Now, Preston Pearson, Billy Joe Dupree, Robert Newhouse, Butch Johnson, Golden Richards, Dorsett, and Pearson each had a catch. Drew Pearson was a non-factor pretty well in this contest. Now, Staubach broke the record in this with most passing yards career, most touchdown passes, and highest completion percentage. Morton broke career and single game records with 4 interceptions, 7 overall. Roger Staubach fumbled again, fourth all time, Super Bowl record. Special teams, longest kickoff return at the time, Rick Upchurch, 67 yards. And Jim Turner broke the record for most field goals attempted career. Now, Randy Hughes and Butch Johnson both recovered two fumbles. And Herrera missed again 2 field goals during the contest, so it could have been a lot more than it actually missed 3 field goals. What am I talking about? So, ladies and gentlemen, a very interesting contest. I'm not saying it was the best ever, but like I said, Dallas was just so dominant. It had to be somebody that was going to make it go. But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, I think with Dallas, they had to didn't have much chance to have their game going because to get the ball back on fumbles, and it was just Landry had a certain way to play it, and it didn't work out for Dallas. So just the starting lineups again, numerous Hall of Famers with Dallas, but this is the Dallas lineup. My God, what tremendous! Butch Johnson, Ralph Neely, Herb Scott, John Fitzgerald, Tom Rafferty, Pat Donovan, Billy Joe Dupree, Drew Pearson, Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Robert Newhouse, Ed Tudor Jones, Jethro Pugh, Randy White, Harvey Martin, Hollywood Henderson, Bob Rooney, Dee Lewis, Benny Barnes, Aaron Kyle, Charlie Waters, and Cliff Harris. Probably the best Dallas team of all time. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, a game that's not a classic, but part of history because it is a link between the end of the first Pittsburgh dynasty, the start of the next Pittsburgh dynasty. And the fact is, Pittsburgh probably would have bet Dallas that year, but this was getting to be the last of the 14-game seasons. We went to 16, and all hell broke loose. And rule changes as well were coming in for, stop defenders like Jack Tatum and stuff like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here with our Dallas Cowboy podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.